So let's transition to the whole idea of really kind of knowing what you want to accomplish. And I love doing spreadsheets because it helps you understand what I need to accomplish in order to get where I need to go. It gives me more of a roadmap. And I was always one of those kind of guys from early on, and Andy Albright was like this when we got into this business. We traded spreadsheets on expected income at this level. If we had this many agents, we had this much of an override, this is how much money we can make. That stuff always fired me up because I knew, man, I am building my house. I'm building my business, but you got to know what blueprint you're building to and what is for you at the end of the road or at the stopping point along the way. You know, the next Vista is making 50 grand a year. The next Vista is 100 grand a year. The next Vista is 250 grand a year. The next Vista to stop on your road to success is 500 grand a year. You got to know how to get there. What does it look like? Sometimes for all you visual people, you need to kind of see it in your mind, right, before you can go after it. So I love doing spreadsheets because it helps me visualize what I'm trying to accomplish. So I created, this is actually based off a spreadsheet we did about 3 years ago. Patrick Connors actually built the original one, and it was the income at every level. So under the old guidelines, we had income at every level based on these assumptions and how many agents we had producing and what levels they were at. And then what I did was, based on our new promotion guideline system, I took that and then I went anal on it. I went crazy on it. I made it a really strong model as far as what you need to do to build your business. And so let's show that to you. So this is the summary page. And what this explains, and it has certain premise in it, so that we can establish a baseline from which then to determine how many unique writing agents do you need to issue pay per week, how many you need to issue pay business every week. And everything's average. You know, whole agency is an average. In other words, if you have an agency of 40 agents, the average is you're going to have about 20 of them issue paying every week. Okay, so you always take half at the end of the month, right? I mean, I could go over those spreadsheets, but I don't got time now. Just know that I know this to be true, that at the end of the month, you have 40 unique writing agents. That means at least one agent wrote one piece of business in that month. What does that translate to every week? Because you get paid every week in the ARC. And so you need to manage your business on a weekly basis. How many agents are submitting business every week, which leads to how many businesses or how many agents are issue paying business every week. So while everything's done monthly, promotions are done monthly, baby, you get paid every week. And so all these numbers the premise is weekly issue paid business. So you might have one agent submit business that week, but that business never gets issue paid. That doesn't count. We're talking of the people that submit, how many per week get issue paid. And we have reports on the My Report page for your agency of how many agents issue paid business that week, every week. And then they have a summary of the last 6 weeks. And then they have, the monthly issue paid numbers. And so again, the premise here is how many agents issue pay X amount of business every week. And if you can manage your business to weekly, then you have a much more of a finer grasp of your business, because everything adds every week to the end of the month, right? So I just want to make that crystal clear. Don't tell me how many people are submitting business every week. Tell me how many are issue paying every week, and I will tell you what the numbers are going to be. Okay, so that's what this premise is based on. Okay, so the summary page of the spreadsheet has the agent levels going from IBA all the way to CCM, the commission rate at each level, 55 to 120. And then what I've determined through the spreadsheet model, how many unique writing agents do you need submitting every week, okay? And then based on that, I'll have the group annual premium issue paid, or actually this AP per month is based on submitted premium, okay? So, issue paid gross premium, that's what it is. Issue paid gross premium. Okay, not submitted. And this is, I I put it into a monthly basis based on 4-week month. Okay, I know the months are, but I base it on 4-week months. In other words, my annual is based on 48 weeks, based on 12 4-week months. And so it's conservative in that it doesn't take 52 weeks because we know that some people don't work every week. So it's even more conservative, all right? Anyway, I wanted to base it on, having some level of conservative. The personal production income, so I even have it personal production income per week based on these numbers here. So in the blue is the assumptions. The assumption is average issue paid premium per application per week is 1,000. The issue paid apps per week is 2 per unique writing agent, per each agent here. The AMP factor rate is 65%. So in other words, on $1,000 average issue paid, you can expect to get paid on $650 of it. But Alex, strong foundation is 0.8333. Right, it is, isn't it? And then the other ones are 0.79 something, but you got whole life, that's lower. And so what I did to establish that number was I averaged my entire hierarchy, my whole hierarchy, which does anywhere from 600,000-700,000 a month issue paid, to come up with the ARC percentage. And the ARC percentage is 65%. I mean, I could show you that spreadsheet. I actually could show you that spreadsheet. All right, so this is a study that I did. I got a cool, this spreadsheet rocks because I have a macro that I can take my entire month of issue paid production for my entire hierarchy and then apply the factors and determine what gets issue paid gross versus the factored premium. And this is what I have. So this is a pretty cool spreadsheet because it covers all the basic products. It shows the total premium, the commissionable premium. And so what this basically, this is a whole nother conference call on this, but this shows that if you take the commissionable premium, I did this by product. Okay, so just so you understand the spreadsheet, these are all the products that issue paid in my business. I think it's for the month of January 2019. So I have each product, and each product has their ARC percentage, and then I multiplied my premium per product to get the ARC percentage, see? And then I broke it down by the type, and I got the ARC percentage premium to gross premium. So this actually is a pretty good study here because you see whole life products. So the whole life gross premium, issue paid premium to ARC percentage is 58.42. So if you got a dollar issue paid for a whole life, you can expect your premium, your commission, or your override to be based on 58%, 58.2% of the gross. SIT, that's simplified issue term, it's higher, of course. It's 80.94%. So if you're doing that, that's the percentage. Universal life is 74.09%. We've got fully underwritten term is 59.27%. Accidental death is actually pretty high, 71.75% of the ARC, and then 66% for the index universal life. So, I mean, these are the numbers. The numbers be the numbers, and this spreadsheet calculates it per month like that. It's so cool. It took me a while to put this together. I've spent hours on this, but here's the point. 65% of your gross AP that you're going to write is going to be that much as you're going to get commission on. So that's why I came up with that 65% number. So let's go back to the other spreadsheet. I know I kind of geeked out there a little bit. That's not as important, but I wanted the commission premiums to be more accurate on this model. So that's the only way that I could be accurate with it. Then the advance rate is 75%. So I even take an advance of 75%, not even pretending 25% is going to get paid out in months 10, 11, and 12. So again, I discounted again, okay? So you can see here at each of these levels how many unique writing agents are issue paying business per week all the way from IBA to CCM. The group AP, gross AP per month. This is a personal production income. So I'm assuming that you're writing and issue paying 2 apps per week based on this number here. So you yourself plus your team. So even if you're a CCM, you're still doing yours, okay? This is the override income per week you could expect at each level. The GLOW, so I factored the GLOW bonus. Now the only thing you don't have here, because I couldn't do a 3-dimensional spreadsheet, I know, sorry, is the GLOW bonuses in depth, the generational bonuses that you're going to need to have happen, that will happen. So that does not even factor it in here. This is purely the frontline, your frontline managers and the frontline GLOW bonus, not breaking out multiple managers in depth. Okay, so again, it's conservative from that perspective. And you add up the total income per week. Remember, this is weekly. And then the total income per year is multiplied by 48 weeks, not 52. Again, try to be real conservative there. So you can see an IBA, you should pay 2 apps a week for 48 weeks is making 25 grand a year. BD is 30,000, 39,000 for BP. Team builder is 46.8. Team leader is 63. Key leader is 95. AM is at like 119. DM is 257. RM is 493. National manager is 673. VP is 1.2 million. EVP is 1.9 million. Junior board member is 2.9 million. Senior board member is 3.3 million. Executive board member, 5 million a year. PCM, 7 million, 10 million, and then 15 million. Okay, so it's just not gross numbers. It's based on layers beneath it. And so let me show you the layers beneath it. The data sheet. So this is what's behind the curtain. And I do this just so you know the rigor with which I used to develop these numbers and this model. And what is cool is you could type in whatever you want. You could type in anything you want here, in the average premium issue paid per app, how many issue paid apps per week, the ARC fact. I wouldn't change that because that's right on. Advanced is what it is. But you can change the level, and changing the level of how your legs are made up will change the percentage that leg is paying out for you, your override. That'll calculate your override. You know, so by putting, like, for example, if I type in, let's say down here, I type in, let's say key leader. See, it turns yellow. That's the color on the promotion guidelines. And it turns it to 80%, okay? So let's put it back to AM. Cool spreadsheet, huh? The other thing you can vary is the number of unique writing agents that make up that group. Now, you might have AMs with 50 people in it, but the highest level in that leg is an AM, okay? And that's where depth starts happening. Again, this does not reflect depth, but if you have so much depth going on that you have, 50 unique writing agents under the highest level, which is an AM, well, then that's going to be extra volume, and that's how you can reflect it in here. That's, what you have opportunity to change. And then your base shop team, you could change how many people are writing, unique writing agents averaging per issue paid per week, and then that can vary how much your base shop volume is. So this is made up your base shop and then each leg based on the promotion guidelines. So let's look at the promotion guidelines just so you understand kind of the premise is based on the promotion guidelines. So these are the promotion guidelines. So you can see here going up from 55% to 120, right? It has a certain structure of width production, right? And the number of legs. So you need, I think it's 12, 3, 6, 9. You need 12 legs at 75,000 or more at Chairman's Council member. Junior board member, you need 6 legs with this configuration of production volume. Okay, and so on. So that's what my spreadsheet's based on at each level, okay? And then the glow bonus is only at the front line 8% just on that leg. It will be higher, right? But again, just wanted to make that clear. All right, so as you look at the number of legs, so as an IBA, it's only you, right? There's no leg volume here. At BD, there's you and one other person. At BP, there's you and two other people. It's kind of based on that. So you can see leg number one at each of the levels are going to get progressively higher just to create the volume that you need. In fact, the only way you can get 12 million at CCM is if you got 12 EVPs, okay? Then again, you're making 15 million a year. Now, it could be EVPs, it could be a VP that's got that many agents. Bottom line is there's 140 agents submitting business every week in that leg. Whether that leg's an EVP or not is determined by that leg, and you can make it whatever you want. See, because you could change the number of unique writing agents, and then you can change whatever level the top person is in that leg. It's up to you. But I did it just based on what it took to get someone to the volume level at each of these levels here, because you need to hit a volume level. So remember, the promotion guidelines require volume. So, let's go to the first the first real builder level is team builder. You need 10,000 total group volume. Team leader, you need 15,000 total group volume. To get to key leader, you need 25,000. Agency manager is 50,000. District manager is 75,000. RM is 110,000. National manager is 150. VP is 200. EVP is 300. JBM is 500,000. SBM is 1 million. Executive board member is 3 million. 6 million at President's Council member. Executive Council member is 9, and then 12 million. So that's why it's important to track gross group issue paid volume. Are you going to explain this to everybody when you show them the first sheet? No. It's just like trying to explain to someone how to sell universal life. You don't explain how universal life works. You just explain to a client what it will do for them. What will this universal life do for you? Okay, not all the stuff behind the curtain. The reason why you need to know the stuff behind the curtain is so you can explain with confidence what it will do for them. You don't need to explain all the stuff behind the curtain. You need to explain what it'll do for them. People don't care why something works. They care that it does work and how it will work for them. Okay? They don't need to know, like I don't need to know how a car runs. I don't need to know the intricacies of an internal combustion engine. I don't need to know that. All I need to know is when I turn the key, I have gas in the vehicle, that I hit the accelerator, it's going to move me from point A to point B. I want to get to point B. Okay, I just need to know this car will get me there, not how the internal combustion engine works. So the same thing with this spreadsheet model is this lets me know that when I present the numbers to somebody that it works. And I can play with it. But you can see leg number one all the way down, national manager, you need 1 AM leg or 185, one leg at least 50,000. Okay. And, an AM is going to be way more than that if they do it with 25 unique writing agents that turn in business every week. That's a jam and AM ship. Okay. But I build it up on strength of the numbers. Okay, so there's leg number 2, leg number 3, leg number 4. Now you can see that 4 legs are needed to go key leader, AM, DM, and regional manager. So you need at least 4 legs doing volume. That's why I don't show a 5th leg. But you have a base shop, right? And that's why you have a base shop. You can reflect your base shop there. Okay, but as you go across, leg number 5, leg number 6, leg number 6 is what you need to go EVP and on up. Like EVP to executive board member, you need 6 legs. And then leg number 7 through 9, you need 7, 8, and 9, or like 7 will take you to president's council member. Then you need 8 and 9 to get you to ECM. And then again, 12 legs, 10, 11, and 12 to get you to CCM, okay? But everything is built up on this. And remember, you can change that to like 10 agents. And notice the volume went up. When the volume goes up, your override goes up. Your override goes up, your override income goes up. Everything, and then your annual income goes up, your group volume goes up. So everything's all attached to each other. Okay, what's cool about the spreadsheet too is that you can't change a value that you're not supposed to change. Like I'm not going to let you change any of the formulas, okay? You can only change what you can change, which is unique writing agent and levels, okay? And then these averages here, okay? So that's what all this is based on. It's nerdy as heck, but you know, it's pretty conservative. The accuracy is pretty accurate because of the arc factor. And it's also pretty accurate in that, well, it's accurate up to a point. Again, it's width, but it doesn't calculate. Where it doesn't calculate is glow bonuses in depth as you break out agency managers in depth. And you can sort of reflect it a little bit through the number of unique writing agents in that leg, okay? But, you know, bottom line, it's actually pretty good. It's a decent model to use, okay? But going at it from this perspective of how's this going to help me build my business? How it's going to help you is what do I need to do to focus on to get to key leader? If I can get 10 unique writing agents every week, issue paying 2 apps a week, I'm rocking, okay? You're going to definitely get to key leader. In fact, you could probably go agency manager. Honestly, I'm thinking you could go agency manager at that level. But if you got 10 good people issue paying every week, you're going to be there. You're going to be like on borderline AM. At the AM level, if you got 27 issue paying business every week, at least 2 apps a week, you're rocking. But Alex, what if my agency only averages 1 issue paid app a week? All right, well then you need more. And that's what you can do. You can play with that and say, okay, what if my agency really averages 1 issue paid app per week? Well, the numbers go down. The income numbers go down and the volume numbers go down where you won't even get to SBM because you don't do enough volume. That means you need more unique writing agents. All right. But if that's what your average is, that's what it is. And you can put it in there. Now you can determine, okay, if I got 10, I'm still going to hit the group volume for a key leader, but I'm only going to make 50 grand a year, 47,970. All right, that's what it is. If that's what's going on in your group, then that's what it is, okay? You can't argue what your experience is. It just means you got to do more. Like I had an agent in Kentucky, Southern Kentucky, and his average premiums he was writing was like $650 an application, whereas the rest of the national average was around $750 to $800 per application. And so what he did was, well, I got to bloom where I'm planted. I just got to write more business. See, he didn't wallow in, you know, woe's me. I live in Southern Kentucky. The average premiums are lower. He said, I'll just go write more business to make as much money as all these other guys are making. See how that works? It's just like you bloom where you're planted. Well, if your number is 1 issue paid app per week per unique writing agent, well, that's what it is. So what do you need to do to move on? You need to follow the formulas to get you there. And this is how much money you can expect to make, okay? Or you have more agents doing it. See what I'm saying? But at least you got something to focus on. If you're trying to get to key leader and you only have 3 agents issue paying business a week, it's like, man, you need more than that. You need more than that, right? Actually, honestly, you probably need less than that here. I'm thinking that to get to key leader, like here's, okay, based on that, So your key leader, you've got one, maybe that's a key leader. You need, what is it, 7,500, 5,000, so on. You could do it actually with maybe, that's 2 is what you need there. Oh, wow. Oh, that's your base shop. So key leader, let's say you don't even have a base shop. You need a BP, maybe you only need 2. 2 turning in business every week. BD, maybe it's 1. 2 IBAs, maybe this IBA is only doing, this is how you can show half, if you got one guy that does every other week, well then you show him as 0.5. I don't know if 0.5 will show up. Oh, maybe that'll show up. Yeah. So that reflects a guy or gal that does one every other week. And so look what happened. Oh, that's team leader. There you go. So this is probably more of a realistic scenario. 6.5 agents. You're doing group volume 26,000. So you probably may be able to make it. Okay, if you had 6 to 7 issue paying every week, actually it's 7. If you did 7, you'll be consistently like every week. Then you're probably on track. But you see how you can kind of play with it to do it. And then let's see if the summary is just 6.5. Again, unique writing agents per week. So this is where the rubber hits the road. Okay, this is a great model. Wow, woohoo. Okay. Well, what do I need to do to get there? You need to hire people. You need to find them. You need to be nice to them, and you need to find more. Okay, some more numbers. So here are some very significant numbers that you need to be cognizant of, is that when you fast track someone who doesn't have a license, what we found in our agency is that 30% get their license that have been fast tracked and paid for licensing class. Okay, it's only 30%. So right away from jump, you bring in 10 people, you're all fired up there in class, but only 3 of them are going to get out of class and get their license because life gets in the way. The only time I did better than that was 33%. And I got to 33% because I had my staff checking up on them all the time, like bothering them basically. So like if you bring in 10 people and you get all mad because only 3 got their license, dude, that's just the way it is. Now it is higher. Now we're talking cold recruiting. If you're bringing in warm market people, warm market recruiting has a higher percentage of people getting out of class because of the personal relationships they have with the person that brought them in, right? There's just that, we're in this together, let's go get our license. So that's going to go up, but pure cold recruiting, 30%. So if you're wondering, well, this recruiting's not working, no, it's working. You're just not bringing enough people, right? You're not finding people. You don't make them, you find them. People think they can make someone into an awesome producer. It's like, I'm sorry to tell you, man, people have the want to, need the want to, have to have the want to. You can't make them into a producer. They got to go out and pick up the phone and dial leads. They got to learn what we're doing. They got to plug into all the training. See how that works? Like not everyone's going to want to do it. Just kind of like not everyone makes it through college. Does that make college bad? No. It just means that there's an attrition rate, isn't there? There are people that get in but can't afford to stay in. Hey, there are people get in with us and in their mind they can't afford to continue. Well, with the person that has the money to go to college, there's other ways to get the money. They can work their butts off and then pay for their own way. They can go to a college that's more affordable, pay their own way. I mean, there's all kinds of people have overcome anything that you've overcome other than death. Obviously, if you die, you can't continue with us. Whatever it is, people have been afraid of the phone and still made it with us. People have started out being terrible on the phone, booking appointments, they still made it with us. People have tried to run lead areas where they couldn't hardly get leads, and they still made it with us. In other words, You tell me a challenge and I can tell you and show you people that have overcome it. So the question is, how can you do what they did, right? How can you do what they did? And that's the idea of taking personal responsibility, is knowing that if someone else could do it, I could do it too. So find out what that person did and then do exact same thing. Boom. It's going to work. You know, you got to get your mind right. You got to get your mind right all the time. You got to keep your attitude positive so that you're open, you open your heart to receiving. See, if you're closed and negative and you close your mind to receiving, it's all around you. The clues are all around you how to be successful, and people are helping you. But if you're closed to that advice, there's nothing we can do, right? So anyway, so that is my builder's call today. I hope it helped. And man, let's make this week an awesome week. What are you doing to make your why that makes you cry happen? The unemotional work, hitting the phones to make your why happen. You got to keep asking yourself that every hour. What did I do this last hour to make my why happen? What am I going to do this next hour to make my why happen? So rock on, gang. Let's do this thing. God bless, man.